Well, LEADER started off as being a European Commission initiative way back in 1988-89. European Commission was reforming the structure funds, and they were trying to concentrate all the funds into specific areas, specific regions and so on. One of the regions they wanted to develop was the rural areas, especially ones which were remote, which were cut off and had economic problems.
I started being involved with Tayside LEADER. That was Perth and Kinross and Angus, and it was all joined together in the one thing. And in those days, it was groups of people that could apply, and we helped lots of groups, so village halls and community groups. It was very much that focus. When we moved to Perthshire LEADER, then it became very much more business focused. So groups could still apply, but also individual businesses could still apply. So that let us sort of help start up businesses, but it also helped businesses that wanted to do other stuff but didn't have the wherewithal to do it.
I think it's fair to say that this whole project would never have left the drawing board had it not been for LEADER and their award of a substantial grant right at the very outset.
So I've been really proud to tell our brand story from its concept through to where we are just now, attending some big events throughout the country, which we've managed to do through support from Perth and Kinross Council, especially LEADER.
Rural enterprises are absolutely critical to Perth and Kinross. The vast majority of businesses in rural area are quite small, so the more help that they can get, the better. And the difference it makes is that they provide jobs, they provide services, but they're the glue for a lot of communities. And we've seen that during the pandemic, where rural enterprises have played a hugely significant role in helping communities to be resilient and stay together, and then encourage people to shop local and use local enterprises. So it's been a kind of circular economy effect. And if it hadn't been for LEADER, some of these enterprises might not have been there in the first place.
This building, this centre, all these impacts and improvements of quality of life wouldn't have come about without LEADER funding. LEADER funding was the big anchor funding that we needed to bring in other funders, and it was the tipping point. Once LEADER funding was agreed, we were able to then set our build start date.
The Local Action Group, which is the LAG, is central to the decision making through LEADER. So the LAG makes the decisions about who gets the funding, but also provides guidance to the team. So we've been really lucky in Perth and Kinross because we've had a very committed Local Action Group with a big range of skills and expertise. And that's helped both in the kinds of projects that we've funded. So we've always had somebody who knows a bit more about the environment or heritage or enterprise. And that's enabled us to both use the LAG members, but also make sure that the projects are getting the expertise and the commitment that they need to make them successful.
The LEADER funding has been integral to the establishment of the nursery. We have used the money for training, staff training, marketing and outreach events. So it's really contributed right across different elements of the project.
My highlights in LEADER is talking about the projects that have made a difference to Perth and Kinross, the ones that we've funded, the kitchen we've put in Crieff Deli, the boat we've funded for Loch Tay, the Aberfeldy workshop.
The funding which we had from LEADER was for our additional support needs project, and it's enabled us to leverage other funding from other people, and that's given the opportunities for us to employ 2 additional support needs employees.
We did a massive project for young rural people. We had a big camp at Kinross for them, totally funded by Perth and Kinross LEADER. This is to develop Scottish rural leadership, develop new voices, give young people confidence to speak up in their communities.
So Brexit fundamentally means that LEADER as it is now will be no longer in the future because it was based on EU funding, and it's also interesting that there's LEADER programmes in every European country, European EU member. So sadly we won't be part of that network going forward, but the good thing is that the principles of LEADER, we've got a commitment from Scottish Government to continue. So For example, CLLD, which stands for Community-Led Local Development, is a core principle of LEADER, and that will be really important to the way that we develop local economies, communities, and make sure that strategically we're getting alternative funding into these areas. All the expertise that's been created through LEADER won't be lost.
We think we can be much wider, move into enterprise far more, be more helpful, try and make the rural economy more sustainable, and by making it more sustainable it empowers people, it opens up villages, opens up areas, communities to lots of other things. So that's really our vision for the future.
The rural areas are fragile, they work away, they don't have the support that maybe more urban areas have, and therefore a little goes a long way in rural areas. A little bit of help can make a huge difference.